Why did self-declared socialist states like the USSR historically fail? Imagine a society built on the idea of everyone sharing equally, where the government owns all the major resources and wealth. It sounds fair and just, right? But history shows us that many of these societies, like the Soviet Union, didn't last. So, what really caused their downfall? Let's take a closer look. At the heart of these states was a goal to create a society based on socialist ideals, things like shared ownership, economic equality, and social justice. But putting these ideas into practice often led to big problems. For example, the government aimed to control all industries and resources, but this made it hard to respond quickly to economic needs or encourage innovation. Central planning became rigid, and shortages of everyday goods like food and clothing became common. People had to wait in long lines for basic items, which made life difficult and lowered morale. Politically, the leaders of these states often drifted away from the original ideas of Marx and Engels, who wanted to serve the people. Instead, the ruling parties became more focused on holding onto power. They created bureaucracies that prioritized their own privileges over the needs of ordinary citizens. Over time, this led to a loss of trust and legitimacy. People started questioning whether the government truly represented their interests or was just protecting a small elite. Socially, these states were often made up of many different ethnic groups and nationalities. The central governments tried to impose a single culture, usually Russian in the case of the USSR, which caused resentment among other groups. Ethnic tensions grew, and some regions pushed for independence or greater autonomy. This internal strife weakened the unity of the state and contributed to its eventual breakup. Ethically, a big problem was the gap between what the government preached and what actually happened. Leaders often lived better than ordinary people, enjoying luxuries that most citizens couldn't afford. When reforms like glasnost and perestroika were introduced, exposing corruption and abuses, many people felt betrayed. These revelations made it clear that the regime was not living up to its promises of fairness and justice. From a moral perspective, the failure of these socialist states shows how abandoning core ethical principles, like equality, honesty, and respect, can undermine political stability. When leaders prioritize power over the common good, the social contract breaks down. The disconnect between ideals and reality leads to disillusionment, unrest, and ultimately collapse. In practical terms, this history teaches us that any political system claiming to pursue ethical goals must stay true to those values. Transparency, accountability, and respect for diversity are essential to maintaining legitimacy. Without these, even the best ideas can turn into oppressive regimes that lose their way. The story of the Soviet Union reminds us that ideals alone aren't enough. Actions must align with moral commitments to build lasting societies.